Get ready for the action because the global shift to electric vehicles is hitting a major roadblock. BNP Paribas is sounding the alarm, revealing that charging limits and soaring insurance costs are seriously slowing down the march of pure electric vehicles. James Can, head of industrials research in Asia-Pacific at BNP Paribas, just dropped some critical insights from their Hong Kong conference, warning that infrastructure readiness is not where it needs to be in many nations, suggesting that electric and internal combustion engine vehicles are set to coexist for longer than we thought. This changes the game for investors looking at Chinese battery EV makers and tells us exactly where the bottlenecks are right now. Towards hybrids and electric vehicles as a smart financial move. Callie Leatherwood is driving her new fully electric Hyundai Ioniq 9, telling us how she sees the maintenance savings and the long-lasting range as a total win-win against the pump. Experts are seeing hybrid sales surge, and we break down the data showing exactly why hybrids are currently outperforming pure EVs in the market right now. And the political battleground is heating up as Democrats clash over a new highway bill. House and Senate Democrats are on a collision course regarding a controversial fee on electric and hybrid vehicles within the new surface transportation bill. Rick Larson, a ranking member in the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, is pushing for road user fees on EV and hybrid drivers, while Senate Democrats led by Sheldon Whitehouse and Ron Wyden are vehemently opposing these charges, calling them a right-wing ideological trophy. Find out the exact fee structure being debated and why this disagreement is poised to delay major infrastructure action. Stay tuned for the full breakdown. Global growth in electric vehicles is encountering significant headwinds related to insurance costs and insufficient charging infrastructure, according to a recent assessment by BNP Paribas at its annual EV and Mobility Conference in Hong Kong. While concerns over escalating petrol prices are driving a shift towards pure electric vehicles, the bank is tempering optimistic projections due to these practical obstacles. James Can, head of industrials research in Asia-Pacific at BNP Paribas, stated that infrastructure readiness is lacking in many regions. He indicated that the coexistence of electric vehicles and internal combustion engine vehicles is likely to extend for the foreseeable future. Can identified China and Europe as the leading markets in terms of infrastructure preparedness. Furthermore, he noted that the U.S. and certain emerging nations are increasingly opting for partly electrified solutions, such as hybrid electric vehicles, due to challenges with aging power grid networks. It is important to note that while battery electric vehicles are entirely independent of petrol, hybrid and plug-in hybrid vehicles integrate both an internal combustion engine and an electric motor. Despite these challenges, Can suggested that potential savings on fuel costs for EVs could be counterbalanced by increased insurance and maintenance expenses in some emerging markets. Stellantis and Chinese original equipment manufacturer Dongfeng have announced an expanded collaboration aimed at deepening their partnership by jointly producing electric vehicles for both the Chinese and global markets. This agreement will see the manufacturers share production of vehicles under the Peugeot and Jeep brands. The collaboration builds upon a 34-year history, stemming from their existing joint venture, Dongfeng Peugeot Citroën Automobile, DPCA. The vehicles slated for production will be new energy vehicles, NEVs, encompassing various electrified drivetrain types, including plug-in hybrids and fully electric power. Stellantis stated that the extended partnership will introduce cutting-edge EV technologies into the joint venture. Under the new agreement, the DPCA Wuhan plant is scheduled to produce 2 Peugeot-badged NEVs starting in 2027, based on design concepts showcased at the recent Beijing Auto Show. Additionally, 2 Jeep-badged NEVs will commence production in the same year at the same facility. These vehicles are slated for distribution in both China and international markets, although specific territories remain to be confirmed. Representatives from both companies emphasized the strategic significance of the deal. Stellantis highlighted the 30-year track record of collaboration and shared expertise, aiming to leverage their combined strengths to introduce new vehicles with advanced EV technology. Dongfeng Motor underscored that this cooperation integrates Hubei's industrial capabilities with Stellantis' global footprint and Dongfeng's intelligent electric vehicle technologies, forging a path of complementary strengths for mutual benefit and injecting significant momentum into the transformation of DPCA. As persistent high gas prices continue to pressure consumers, auto experts are reporting a significant shift in buying patterns, with hybrid and electric vehicle sales showing a notable increase across Ohio. With fuel costs remaining above $4 a gallon, drivers are actively seeking alternatives to traditional gasoline-powered vehicles, positioning hybrids and EVs as key solutions. Industry analysts attribute this trend directly to the rising cost of gasoline. Tim Elliott, executive VP at the Northeast Ohio Auto Dealers Association, stated that the cause and effect factor is entirely due to the gas price increase. He noted that both new and used hybrid and EV sales have risen, with hybrids demonstrating a particularly strong performance, surpassing their 2025 baseline. While electric vehicle sales more than doubled between February and April, analysts point out that this spike is partially influenced by a previous downturn in December 2025, when a tax credit ended. Conversely, hybrids have maintained a more consistent momentum, being described as hot sellers in the last 60 days. Andy French, general manager at Performance Kings Honda in the Cincinnati area, highlighted the practical appeal of hybrids. He explained that a major advantage for potential buyers is the ability to refuel at any gas station, eliminating range anxiety associated with charging. French noted that most hybrids are self-contained, requiring standard refueling and maintenance, which he views as a significant benefit. Customer testimonials reinforce this sentiment. Callie Leatherwood, who drives a fully electric Hyundai Ioniq 9, emphasized the financial and maintenance advantages. She noted that the cost of a one-time charge is manageable, and she appreciates the lower maintenance associated with electric vehicles. Leatherwood also pointed to the practical range, suggesting a single charge can cover hundreds of miles for daily commuting. Data confirms the trend. According to Elliott, hybrid sales in Ohio jumped by over 1,500 units between February and April of this year. Furthermore, hybrid share reached 8.53% in April 2026, marking one of the strongest monthly shares since January 2025, underscoring the growing consumer preference for fuel-efficient and alternative powertrain options. House and Senate Democrats are facing an intra-party clash over a proposed fee on electric and hybrid vehicles within the new Surface Transportation Bill, creating a significant hurdle for one of Congress's major legislative priorities. The House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee recently unveiled its transportation bill, which includes permitting reform and repeals some Biden-era environmental initiatives. However, a disagreement over EV and hybrid fees is now poised to divide Democrats, potentially undermining their negotiating position. House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee Chair Sam Graves, ARMO, and Ranking Member Rick Larson, DWASH, are moving forward with provisions for road user fees on EV and hybrid drivers. Larson supports these fees, arguing that these drivers contribute less to the Highway Trust Fund than gasoline drivers, because they pay less in federal gasoline taxes. Larson emphasizes a long-held commitment to the user pays principle, stating that all road users should contribute to maintenance. Conversely, Senate Democrats, led by Environment and Public Works Ranking Member Sheldon Whitehouse, DRI and Finance Ranking Member Ron Wyden Dior, are strongly opposed to the fees. These lawmakers, described as outspoken climate hawks, have aligned themselves with environmental groups critical of policies that might slow the adoption of lower-emission vehicles. Wyden dismissed the proposal as another right-wing ideological trophy, stating it is off the table. The discord occurs at a critical juncture as the T&I committee prepares to mark up the legislation, coinciding with rising gasoline prices and debates over suspending the federal gas tax. The American EV industry is simultaneously grappling with headwinds from Republican policies that have curtailed incentives. The final proposed fee structure includes a $130 fee on EVs and a $35 fee on plug-in hybrids, with gradual increases authorized up to $150 and $50, respectively, with 20% of the revenue earmarked for the Department of Transportation's mass transit account. Whitehouse criticized the fee structure, labeling it a ploy by oil companies to suppress the EV industry, arguing it is not a solution for the Highway Trust Fund deficit. Larson, however, maintained a defiant stance, asserting that he is not responsible for the Senate's position on the fee. Critics point out that the potential revenues from these fees may not adequately offset the Highway Trust Fund's deficit, especially given recent slowdowns in EV uptake. Some EV advocates have criticized the proposal, calling for a uniform fee structure for all drivers. Meanwhile, Republicans have also voiced support for the fees, with several senators writing to Democratic committee chairs calling for the imposition of the fees as a matter of fairness. The House bill authorizes approximately $580 billion in spending and includes provisions for streamlining environmental reviews, disaster recovery, and autonomous vehicle regulations, alongside provisions for public transit and urban infrastructure development that Larson secured. The overall transportation bill represents a significant shift from previous iterations, repealing certain climate-related programs while securing wins for public transit and infrastructure development.